Welcome to the Pile of Salt. My name is Hank. With me, he has the power to become a god or a devil. It's Ben.
God or devil? Where's that one from?
Mazinger Z.
Oh, okay. I have no idea. You know what? I should look at what that is, just like visually. Oh, it's this. Right. It's this thing.
Yeah. Well, this is Salt Pile. We're just gonna yap about some stuff
That we've been doing, that we've been taking in. They put tits on this robot, huh? She's the girl
Go Nagai, baby. Uh-huh.
I mean, we're already in. We might as well start with that.
Oh, it's Go Nagai. My Go Nagai journey, starting with Mazinger Z. Because we were joking about that person in that Discord you were in who was like,
yeah, so
Evangelion was a deconstruction.
So I'm in a Discord and this person's called Evangelion a deconstruction of the anime mecha genre, and I'm like, I don't think it is, and he's like, no, dude. I'm like, elaborate. I'm not. Go on. And he's like, well, before Evangelion, you know, the mecha anime were like, oh, the protagonist in the mech, it's so cool being in the mech, and you get to like punch bad guys, and it's so like missiles, and like it's so cool. And me and a couple other people were just clowning on this dude because we're like, fucking Gundam, like just all of Gundam. Like, it was just so
just gestures
funny.
wildly,
yeah, just vaguely at the entire Gundam franchise. Like, it was just so funny, and I had to tell Hank immediately afterwards because I'm like, now that I've seen Evangelion and a bit of Gundam, I can step in and be like, bro, come on, man.
People love to say a thing is a deconstruction when it's just like iterative.
Yeah.
Or pulling on threads that were there because they don't know.
Yeah.
Turns out that he didn't know.
And even like I'm sure part of it is that the ending, right? Like the stuff it gets into. But that's not like a deconstruction of the mech genre. That's a different thing.
Totally.
So
yeah, deconstruction is not the right.
I understand like kind of what he's getting at and how it's like a good example of the mech sucks and it does kind of unique stuff with that or whatever. But like, yeah, he just that wasn't the term. It was very funny though.
Yeah, like if your assumption is, well, all cartoons are like kids cartoons for kids, and they're heroes and then they do good. Then I guess you get there. That like,
yeah, if he's
Ava must be wild. If you were watching the Ninja Turtles and then you watched Evangelion, that was your pipeline. Then maybe you would get there. But even like, I don't know. I'm also like, even Ninja Turtles got weirdly serious at the end.
Sure.
But yeah, no. Gundam is like, it's Evangelion. What it's doing at the beginning, should you being miserable? That's just Gundam.
Yeah, dude. Like, there's mech is sad.
And it turns out, and Mazinger Z, because it's reading Mazinger Z. The beginning of it, this is just the like first episode of Ava.
That's very funny. That's great. I mean,
like, it doesn't really follow up on it in the manga, but at the start, it's just that's just what it is. Because the thing is like terrifying and not obeying what he wants it to do. It's just acting on its own.
Do we know what the first mecha manga is? Like,
so
what that thing would be?
The thing that makes Mazinger Z the first mecha manga or mecha anime is Go Nagai's idea was, what if a person like drove the big robot like it was a car?
Sure.
Like that was the idea. That's like basically, which is like how the Mazinger is. He has this little helicopter. It just sits on the top of the robot.
Gotcha.
It just lands in its head. Because it's like, what if you just were in a car, but it was a big robot? Because there's in the West it was called Gigantor, because I think it's just like Iron Man number 49 or whatever, and they didn't want to, like, Iron Man the Marvel comic existed, so they couldn't just call it Iron Man.
Sure.
But that's like a kid with like a remote control robot.
Yeah.
Big robot.
Well,
and that's extremely like. Oh, and I actually looked at the manga for this too, for like a chapter. And because like in my head, with what the anime looks like is Astro Boy, but big robot instead of butt guns.
Yeah. Yeah.
But reading it, it's weirdly more like, what if Detective Conan had a robot? Like it's a kid detective. Tetsujin 28 Go is what it's called. It's like a kid detective story, but also he has a robot, a big robot that he can summon.
Yeah.
But it's extremely like kid detective focused.
Well, I was just kind of what I was getting at a little bit is if this is like one of the first like mecha, like true mecha, like you're operating it like a car or whatever, and it's miserable doing that, like they don't, like, the protagonist isn't thrilled to be doing this for whatever reason, right? Or they're like kind of shoved into it for something. Like the deconstruction would then be like being happy to be like, oh, this is rad and a sick fun time that everyone wants to do.
Yeah. Like I think the real difference is with that older stuff is they just didn't fucking care about characters in the same way, so it doesn't sit with them in their feelings.
Sure.
In the same way. Like the extent to which in Mazinger Z it's like, oh no, I'm piloting this thing that's just murdering everyone, is only when that is happening.
Yeah.
Once that is done happening, that is no longer the concern. So now it's just Monster of the Week or whatever.
You can't carry that shit with you. You gotta
yeah. Whereas like the thing with Gundam is like it's the 70s, so we're all about emotion and sitting with people in their feelings. And that's just 70s shit. That's not like unique to Gundam either.
Yeah.
It just happens to be when it was, it's like a character of the thing when it was made rather than like something else. I don't know. Because that's like the big difference looking at Mazinger Z to looking at Gundam. Gundam cares about its characters, and Go Nagai does not give a shit about any character he's ever written.
Hell
what
yeah,
I can tell. He does not care.
He's out there. He's cooking.
Speaking, like, Jesus I have to Christ. Talk about, I looked at his first series, like the series that put him on the map.
I'm looking at it right now. Give the name.
Harenchi Gakuen.
Widely considered the first modern erotic manga. Brother, you should have told me. I could have done this. How many issues? It's only 13 volumes? Hank. My guy. Come on, I could have been on this shit.
I was telling you about it, but look.
I didn't understand. You didn't say erotic manga. You just said the dude was
Well,
horny.
It's not actually erotic.
Genre erotic comedy. Yeah, I know how old erotic is.
It's like
I'm looking at this picture.
Again,
this is the tamest.
Well, because it's like inspired by like, horny comedies, like American movies at the time, like Revenge of the Nerds or whatever. So it's just like about teens that are like stealing panties and spying on girls or whatever.
Hell yeah.
Like, but they're all high schoolers.
Hell yeah. That's the only thing we like more than a lack of consent is underage, like, gross shit.
And this was running in Shonen Jump from,
so
like, the
fucking
point of
crazy.
Shonen Jump starting. Like, Shonen Jump started, and this was one of the things in it.
That's wild. That's incredible.
So
1960.
So parents complained about it,
yeah,
and it
that
seems
makes
to have
sense.
only made the series more powerful. As far as I could tell,
Well, of course.
it's like a clear example of like parents complaining, and just like that just makes kids like it more, because this isn't like good. Like, if I were a parent and I saw my kid reading this, I'd be like, this is fucked up. You shouldn't be. No one should be reading this. This is garbage.
So is this
But
like
that just makes it more powerful.
So is this I forget the name of the fallacy. I don't want to say that this thing wouldn't exist without this manga, but it's like an early instance, if not like the blow up point of like gratuitous panty shots or something.
Yeah, like I think you could make an argument that like otaku obsession with like fucking stealing panties or whatever like starts here, because like kids get it, see this as like a young age, and it like it's burned into their brain, and then they become creators, then put it in their work.
Yeah.
Like there's an argument that this is the origin. I mean, there's plenty of older like fucked up Japanese art to like point to about stuff, but this is like, as far as like in general manga, like it being, and like that like editors were pushing this, like the editors were like, yeah, fucking do it,
Bro, hold up.
in this kids manga.
What is this? At the time, he never drew sex scenes, avoided pictures of genitals, and made nudes cute rather than sexy.
Well, female genitals. He does draw.
Though the manga
genitals,
regularly showed male genitals throughout its run, including a castration scene. Bro.
Yeah. There was like I read a part, it was a joke of like his mom was like, a kid's mom was like fixing his underwear. So he puts it on, and then it's like, oh, and now his like balls are full of pins. She didn't take out like the pins from it or whatever. And again, it's like a very, very simplistic art style.
Yeah, yeah.
But like the thing that I had to see is the part where it was described. I forget like where in this fucking. Okay, here it is. In the as it says in the Wikipedia article, the PTA managed to prevent the distribution of the magazine in some parts of Japan. As a result of the protests, when the series was about to be canceled because of the PTA, the guy changed the theme in Harenchi Gakuen into a more mature and serious matter, from nonsense gags with sexy touches to a full-scale war where murder was depicted in the bloody war for which many know him. This led to the famous ending of Harenchi Gakuen, symbol of freedom and rejection of the hypocrisy, where all the students and teachers, while defending their freedom of expression, are killed by the PTA and other parental foreigners. This was the ironic answer that a guy gave to the PTA. In parentheses, in the end, this was not the actual ending of Harenchi Gakuen, and the title would subsequently return for publication several years. So I just had to fucking see what the fuck they were talking about.
That's insane. That's such a fucking insane.
The tone did not change. This is the first thing I want to be clear about. It went from tee hee, let's look at girls' panties, to tee hee, we're blowing up.
Yeah, that tracks.
Like there's a bit where the girl is like, I'm in a Go Nagai comic. When I'm near an explosion, just all my clothes will get blown off. And then an explosion goes off near her, and her head gets blown off.
Yeah, man. That's content. Jesus.
Like he just like goes full edge on the violence. It's just like, here's this guy bleeding for 3 panels on this one page.
God. This dude read Dororo.
I mean, yeah, the thing is, it's not like that violence is like, it's the 70s. It's like the 70s, man, or whatever. Like, the violence in manga is fucking everywhere. I get the sex joke stuff was not, I guess. Although, again, also that was changing. There were plenty of series about rape in the 70s.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's just a story where like this like military force descends upon the school because they're shameless, and then like slowly all the characters get murdered, like gruesomely. But it never changes its silly tone. It's like reading an edgy webcomic that's like, you know, decided to get, instead of just making coarse sex jokes, making coarse violence jokes.
Yeah.
But this like, and the hilarious thing is like, that's like it, then there's that's like 2/3 of the way through the manga or something. There's like a lot more. It just goes back to sex jokes.
Yeah.
It's just like, yeah, now they're fine again or whatever. Like it just doesn't give a shit about his character. It's like, it's not about characters. It's about bits.
Yeah, I'd say it's about bits.
Bit comedy and showing boobs.
Hell yeah. That's all you need.
So I would say it was interesting, but it wasn't good or funny. But it had like, I read it because it was like compelling in a way. Just like, what fucking is this?
Yeah.
But that became like the thing Go Nagai was. That's the thing he's known for. So he's known for being horny, like girls getting their clothes blown off all the time, and for having these bouts of excessive violence. Those are like his 2 things.
The originator of ecchi manga, says Wikipedia.
Yeah.
This became the symbol of an entire generation. Jesus.
Well, you had to be a fucking child to think that it was good or to like it.
Imagine reading this shit.
You had to not have taste.
Do you think any? Because this started coming out in what did it say? 68.
68. Yeah.
Do you think there are any kids who read this in 68 and are now like up there in age and are being like fucking stick up their ass about like modern stuff being too much or whatever? There has to be, right?
I'm sure. Yeah.
That's so funny. God. Ridiculous.
Yeah. No, it was like it was just a trip. It was like, this is from like the early 70s, and it's just like, this is like a 2000s webcomic. It's gone a little off the rails.
Yeah. I mean,
as you do.
I might check it out just like to check it out. You know?
Yeah.
Like as a thing that was influential.
Yeah. Outside of this bit where it goes super violent, I found it unreadable.
Hell yeah.
It was like, because it's just not, I don't find it funny.
Yeah, I'm not here to laugh. That's why I read Urusei Yatsura. That one made me laugh. I audibly laughed at Urusei Yatsura. I'm not expecting to laugh at this.
And there's just a weird thing where Go Nagai's art, like, he's good at drawing stuff that isn't manga characters. Like I think his cartooning is trash, but sometimes his drawings are good.
That's great. That's such a weird, like, it's usually the other way around, right?
When he draws manga characters, it looks like someone who's like read a learn how to draw manga book once. The wonk is ridiculous, but like the panel of Mazinger Z like breaking through a building as it's emerging is like one of the sickest drawings you can see. Like, it's incredible. But all his character faces are trash.
That's great.
Unless they're like weird. Like, the weirder they are, the more detail they have, the better they look. But like the simple ones, I think just look ugly.
Yeah.
And like, I sent you that one panel of Cutie Honey where like she just looks like she has a fucking egg in her pelvis. The way he drew her, he like drew her top, and then he was like, "Oh, and then you draw an egg, and that's her ass. And now I'll draw legs off that." She like, looks like a centaur that doesn't have the back end of the centaur part.
Look, it's not my fucking fault that you don't understand the ideal woman when you see her. Okay?
Well, because the thing is, she doesn't look like that in any other panel.
Yeah,
she looks more normal.
Look,
normally.
I took a picture of my brother once making a dumb face, and he was never able to recreate the face, and it was hilarious. It was a great face. Sometimes you just can't capture lightning in a bottle, man.
Pelvis, that's like an oval, right?
Yeah. They're all just, No, that like the couple of shots you sent me were wonk. I mean, you could see a bit of wonk, and then there was like the girl blowing up as well. That was a thing, because that was like, just even out of context, it's like, Jesus Christ. It's like, it's the same kind of effect as like Dororo, right? There was some grim shit. I still remember that fucking panel from Dororo where it's like that pregnant woman just getting killed. Like with arrows or whatever the fuck it was. Like, just like this is drawn in like cutesy Astro Boy style or whatever. And then it's like horrific. It's great. It's just very jarring.
Well, and the thing I think is so Go Nagai, before he became like a mangaka, for 2 years he was an assistant to Ishinomori.
Who's that again?
Which I assume was like, drawing, who did Kamen Rider and stuff.
Oh, right.
So I assume he was good at, drawing backgrounds and stuff as an assistant.
Yeah.
But he's like, at drawing characters, he was trash.
It's not there.
Didn't have it. But that's the other thing. Like, his whole career feels like it's like, oh, he's like, the business he is in is the Ishinomori business, where you make a series and you sell it as a show, and then you make the next thing and never care about anything you've made.
Yeah, dude, you got to keep moving.
Because like Mazinger Z is like is like, how many volumes was that? Like 5, and then for the next show, Great Mazinger is like 2 volumes.
Wild.
And then the third Mazinger series, there might be 1 volume, but like he disowned that one, and it's not connected. He didn't get he wasn't getting royalties he was supposed to get for it.
Oh,
so he was like suing them and mad.
Jesus.
But like the end of volume 2 of Great Mazinger ends with the Mazinger getting blown up and our main characters replaced. And I've never felt more like, that's the thing that like really cemented it to me. Oh, he doesn't care about his characters. The Wages just threw away the main characters and like kept the supporting joke characters. It was like, now it's fine for like one volume, and then at the end he brought back to like wrap up the story of this like 2-volume thing that's like built on this previous thing. He brought back the other main character to like wrap up the story and defeat the big bad. And it was so like it was like tossed off. But what he was doing is just copying Kamen Rider.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Kamen Rider got replaced.
Like Kamen Rider,
yeah, but he's just doing it because that's what Kamen Rider did, and it was popular. Like, there's no reason this had to be this way.
I mean, the reason was following the trend.
Yeah, exactly.
There's
a lot of trend following, which is very funny for something you're reading and you're like, this is the first of its kind.
Yeah.
Look, he alchemied some stuff together, and there was some magic there, but
it's
not
same.
Really.
It's the
I
same
wonder
as
if like
Beatles.
Again, like the anime is like 92 episodes or something, so I wonder if like the character, if you watch that, you might feel like the characters exist in a way that they don't when you read the manga.
More time with
just
them.
More of them, yeah. But I don't know.
No,
I left going like, oh my, there was something here, and fucking Ava stole all of it, and so this isn't important anymore.
Yeah.
Like Ava, everything that was good about this, Ava did. So we don't need this.
Well, I don't want to say it's a one-to-one
I guess except sticking boobs on the girl's robot.
Yeah, see, it could have been like Ava could have been better. There was room.
And by boobs, I mean 2 big orbs.
Yeah. Like
also, Ava didn't crucify the girl's robot upside down, which is also a thing that happened.
Another area for improvement. No, I don't think it's a 1-to-1 comparison, but this is like with any long-standing medium, which at this point I think anime more or less is, or manga certainly is. You have something in music like the Beatles, and this came up in the movie Yesterday, where the dude was he wakes up and the Beatles aren't, like, he wakes up in a world where the Beatles didn't exist, and he starts writing all their music, and he becomes a huge star and all that shit.
Yeah.
The digression is that in the original screenplay, he doesn't become shit, because it turns out that's not how music works. You can't just write Beatles songs in the modern era without Beatles and have anyone give a fuck. Because those were popular in their time, and they blew up and became huge, and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But you have a lot of people who love to glaze the Beatles and be like, well, if it weren't for the Beatles, we wouldn't have any of this shit. And that's just, like, completely wrong. Stuff might look a little different, but, like, they were a product of the shit that was in their time and before their time, just like everyone else. So, like, it wouldn't have drastically altered. Like, it's not like I've literally encountered people who are like, well, if it weren't for this, you wouldn't have rock. You wouldn't have rock as we know it. And it's like, okay. There were other groups that were like doing stuff that would have led to rock. It's okay. Yeah. But for anime, like, it's always pulling from somewhere, right? There's always something that's been, I mean, for any medium, you're always pulling from fucking something. It's not, you
Iron Man existed.
Yeah, dude.
A Marvel comic book. Because that's the thing to remember with like a lot of the anime stuff is like fucking World War II. We didn't just drop a nuclear bomb on Japan. Afterwards, we also dropped fucking culture bomb on them.
Yeah.
And bombed them with American culture. So like all the Japanese media that then gets made out of that is like heavily influenced by that stuff and like exists to to like for that audience and to like port back to America in some ways, even though the extent to which it was is more limited, but it's like it's for an audience that was watching American stuff or whatever, right?
Yeah. Well, even with the
Bewitched is the original magical girl.
Even with Harenchi Gakuen. Gakuen. It says
like that's from movies.
He liked foreign movies and used to read Playboy magazine. Playboy started ecchi manga.
Exactly. Exactly.
The original. You got to go back to the source.
Again, he's following trends, and his trends in that case was like reading Playboy and watching fucking horny movies.
Yeah. And other erotic magazines. That's very funny. I'd find all that shit. I mean, that's been like a super fun thing.
But yeah, but Mazinger Z was the first of his series that I read that I didn't have to put down because someone got raped. It didn't like make me throw it out the window or whatever. Which is what happened when I tried to read. I forget which one it was. His Apocalypse manga. I'm not on the Go Nagai page. That's why I'm not seeing it. I think it says it's at the top. Violence Jack, I think. I was reading Violence Jack until I got to the part where a girl got raped, and then I was like, nope, it's not. This isn't good enough for that.
Yeah.
You must be this good. And even then.
Yeah, like you haven't even finished, you haven't even pushed through to do Berserk.
Yeah, exactly.
That's like, I don't even know if that's the bar, but like it has to be higher than this.
Like also like one of he had some short series like before Mazinger Z that's like it's like turns into a demon, and it's just like his head on top of the demon's head.
Nice. Is there not just what's this? Oh, okay. It was just saying that Violence Jack like influenced Fist of the North Star.
Yeah, that was why I read Violence Jack. I was looking at influences on stuff. Because the other thing with the other difference between Mazinger Z and what Gundam then becomes is the subgenres get pointed as Mazinger Z is a super robot show.
Oh,
and Gundam is a real robot show. Because Gundam cares about how the thing works or whatever. Like, they'll sell you a book giving you all the schematics. Whereas like a super robot show, like it's a big fucking robot and it uses magical special moves or whatever.
Yeah.
We don't really care. And like I think so that's like the other big differentiator is how fucking nerdy can the fans get.
Yeah. The answer is really fucking nerdy, man.
Yeah. Yeah, but mostly to me, it's like, oh, this thing didn't care about its characters, and Gundam did.
Yeah.
Like that was the shift. So then I also like then having gotten through Mazinger Z and looked at Harenchi Gakuen, I'm like, all right, I need to read the other Go Nagai thing that I know about that I haven't diving into, and that's Cutie Honey.
Yeah,
which is only like 2 volumes.
Yeah, that one.
So that was easy.
Yeah, I do plan on looking at that one as well. I forget why. I forgot it. I think you mentioned it at some point long ago. Because like I knew the name, and I'm like, all right, I was gonna. This.
And my description of it was, it's Astrobot, but he has tits. Like,
so
what if Astrobot, instead of having butt guns, had tits and got. And when she transformed, she got naked.
So how could you not?
Reading it, it's a lot more Common Writer than I thought. Which, like, oh, fucking course it is. Like in execution, it's just way closer to Common Writer. But
sure. I mean, after what you've said,
and it does, and it does the thing of like, after whatever, like a volume, it's like, well, bored with all these supporting characters, let's murder all of them.
Hell yeah!
It's like, whoa, okay. It's like, it's just so funny because like. It's just like a happy-go-lucky. Like, you would confuse it for, like, a younger audience thing in terms of how it's, like, written. But then it just, like, doesn't give a fuck. So it just murders people.
Yeah.
But that's that. And his art is wonk. So that's really it.
That's the charm.
Yeah, sure. I think some of it like just actually looks bad, but and it's like, you know, not great, well written. So my patience for it is not super high, but it's, you know, it was only 2 volumes. It was fine. I had a fine time. But the reason I care is because before he did Shin Godzilla, Hideaki Anno made a live-action Cutie Honey movie in the early 2000s that I've been meaning to watch for fucking 20 years. So I finally watched that, and we're going to have to do that for an episode, because that movie rules!
Nice.
It's so good!
Yeah, I'm down.
Shit, like, what if this thing were just fucking great?
I can
like,
do
hell
that after I'm back in Armenia. That'll be easy. 2 volumes in a movie? Sold.
Yeah. Yeah, that one's just a win.
Nice.
Because it's just fun.
Hell yeah.
Like, it doesn't use the plot of the manga at all. So it's just a fun, like, Sentai thing. Basically.
Yeah. I'm down.
Live action anime.
I'm ready. That's sick.
But I think that's, and there's a part where Cutie Honey falls into a car windshield ass first, and in the car is Go Nagai, and he makes a really excited face because Cutie Honey's ass was just in his windshield.
Hell yeah.
Oh, the other thing I read.
Oh my god, he's going way off script, you guys. This wasn't in his fucking doc. I've been lied to.
I forgot the one other Go Nagai thing, which is the Mazinger Z comic he wrote for the American market.
Oh, right, you did mention
in
that.
the 80s, where so the art is like completely not his style. He didn't do the art. It's like trying to be a more Western thing. There's like a sea of skulls and they're like missiles shooting out everywhere. But the Mazinger Z gets isekai'd into a fantasy world where it's human size compared to all the people in that world.
So everybody's like giant and it just is normal size.
Well, so there's a scene where he is like whatever, it says his love to the princess who's standing there like half naked, and then he's like, but you'll have to see my dark secret, and then the head of the Mazinger Z opens up and the little guy comes out and he's like, man, it was killing me in there. He's tiny.
That's incredible. That spawned a whole ass fetish.
That fetish already existed. This is the 80s by the time this is coming out. 50-foot woman is long past.
Yeah, I suppose.
But also in the back of that book, there's a little essay about Go Nagai, and it describes him as hypersexual psychoviolence.
Jesus
the
Christ.
Dynamic world of Go Nagai.
Incredible.
In the Go Nagai book they're selling.
Oh, that's so good. Man.
But also, like, this came out in like the 80s or whatever, and by this point they had done a whole Mazinger series, which wasn't like an isekai where Mazinger goes and fights dinosaurs. So like it's like a wild thing to go from original Mazinger to that, but I feel like it's not that big a leap when you consider there was like a Mazinger versus dinosaurs whole fucking show by this point.
Yeah.
Like, it was a multi-series franchise. You could do whatever with it. Nobody cares. The gloves are off.
Yeah. Man. Oh, I gotta look at this shit, dude. I was busy. I was watching anime. You're going through all this.
Yeah. Well, I just poured through it because, like, I was
so this
compelled.
Is how it feels.
And because there wasn't a lot, it's not like it's a lot. Like,
yeah, that's, I mean, the same thing
like,
I said after Naruto. It wasn't that much. Just do it.
Look, when I can compartmentalize it into, I read like 5 volumes here and 2 volumes here, I can get through a larger quantity of stuff than if you set forth 20 volumes in front of me and then I look at them like, this is impossible.
I keep that in mind in case I ever stumble across something like, and I need to gaslight you and be like, oh, it's just this much, and I'll like even say, like someday I'm gonna be like, it's just like 4 volumes and the thing's actually like 12, but I know you'll be in.
Yeah. If I can get through 4
so
volumes,
I'll send you the 4.
And then there's more. Yeah. For whatever reason, the way my brain works, it's much easier for me to go hard when I can see the end.
I get it, dude. I got scolded once in school because we were coloring this giant fucking like banner mural thing, and my section was huge, and like instead of just coloring, I was like sectioning off shapes within my big area and coloring them in. It's all the same fucking color, mind you. It's not like I was mixing it up. And for some reason this was not acceptable. So I got like scolded for doing this. I have no idea why. None at all. Like I remember some other kid like had beef with it, which like, sure, you're like 6. Makes sense as something that would upset another child whose brain does not work in that way. But the teacher was like, no, you can't be doing that. I'm like, why?
It's That's fucked up.
I got like reassigned to another thing to do with the project or whatever. I'm like, that's bullshit. But yeah, like it was making the I'm like, I'll just finish this square that I made for myself. And I was like working through it, and that kept me going as opposed to just like taking out the entire thing at once. I get you. I just don't work that way with manga.
Yeah. I think that's everything with Go Nagai.
Nice.
Yeah, I didn't come away with like a huge amount of respect for Go Nagai, I'll say.
Really? That's crazy.
Like, your work is kind of trash, but it is important.
Yeah, I mean, that's
and it was
like
interesting.
Driving force. Yeah. That's
interesting going through it.
The thing.
But I also don't think any of it was that good.
Dude, it's so funny. Like,
well, except actually, I think the start of Mazinger Z was really good. I really liked the start of it, and then it stopped. He stopped caring.
Yeah,
but like when the Mazinger Z is like going on a rampage, and it's like yelling about it's the power to become a god or a devil. I don't want to be a devil. And the shit is just like fucking up buildings full of people or whatever. It's like, this is fucking sick. This whips. And then it becomes more stock, but
sure. Yeah. I read a sex comedy.
I read some of the thing. I read like one volume.
Of which?
Gunsmith Cats.
Oh, I was talking about the thing that I did. I thought we'd save Gunsmith
okay.
Cats for last.
Okay.
That's like our juicy topic.
Sure.
Mine was marketed as a sex comedy, I believe, though technically it is more coming of age. But people were acting like it's a sex comedy, and that is Oh Maidens in Your Savage Season. I saw, the way I found this is YouTube algorithmed me with like the horniest fucking degenerate clip of all time. So naturally I clicked on it, and I'm like, sure. Yeah, I'll bite. I want to know what the hell this is. And I watched a clip. I looked it up. I'm like, as I've been doing lately, I just skip the fucking anime and I go right to the manga. I am so mad in hindsight about that clip, because the anime clearly is like, we're gonna make this extra horny for all of you dudes out there. All right, the same scene in the manga is like decidedly, they make the same joke, but it's not like horny. And honestly, the review that I think sums it up well is there was a woman reviewing the manga, and she said something along the lines of like, it would be a sex comedy if like every part of it wasn't something that like women everywhere experience and was hitting a little too close to home, in a good way, not like you accidentally fucked up. It's like, that was the purpose, is like basically these girls in high school, there's a literature club, and they're reading fucking horny literature, like reading like the classics, and it's like all this shit, and it's like them kind of navigating sex and all that stuff. And of the group of how many main characters? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Like what's 6? 6. Yeah. They each kind of take like a different element of like one of them kind of has a thing for one of their teachers. One of them is objectified a lot, but hasn't really done anything, like, and has to deal with those assumptions and everything. Like, they're taking different angles. And the best part is that it's a finished manga, so that was great. And it was really good. I honestly I came in expecting like horny sex comedy, but it was actually just a pretty good coming of age thing, which was very nice. I could not speak to the anime. I did not check it out after reading that scene and having seen that clip. I'm like, I never in a million fucking years. I don't even know if the anime's done or anything, but it was a solid time. It's 8 volumes. It's by Oh, do you send me? This is the fucking robot.
I realized I never showed you the robot crucified upside down.
Upside down robot. Yeah, it's good stuff. Jesus, I'm fucking real, man. That's so fucking cursed. The manga is by Mari Okada.
One other panel. A character yells, "Science isn't the only truth." What about believing in ghosts?
Hell yeah. Oh, that's a banger. Science isn't the only truth is like, that's up there. That's so applicable. Science isn't the only truth. What about X?
Yeah.
Hell yeah. No, there's the mangaka has worked on a shitload of things for television, doing like series compositions and screenplays and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And a very important thing that she worked on is that she did the screenplay for like a couple dozen episodes of Hamtaro.
Hell yeah.
Which is like, I don't know, it's just very funny to me.
There are a lot of episodes of Hamtaro
There are so many
for people to work on.
And also, like, a lot of them were not. Have you ever looked into I've looked into Hamtaro because I watched it when I was younger. Like, that shit's inaccessible. Like, the fan work and that world is crazy because like just so much of it was either not localized or like partially local. It's just wild.
Yeah, because that's I think when they brought it over for US TV, it was like heavily edited or something.
I believe so. Yeah, I've read the manga.
I think because jokes and stuff that they thought wouldn't translate. Like it was too Japanese culture or Japanese puns, if nothing else. I think is why they wanted. Also, it was that era.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I've read the original. It's a manga, but it's more like a children's book than a manga. It's pretty delightful, honestly. He puts a very large biscuit in his mouth, and he says it's a long biscuit, and it's just like going crazy.
Hell yeah.
He says, "I'll never forgive you for this," and he's looking like evil. There's a lot of good shit in that book, man.
Hell yeah.
The other thing I read recently, I could probably put Hamtaro on one of these, but I'd want to refresh. The other thing I did was a newer thing that I also saw like a tiny bit of like a clip from the anime from, or I don't know if it was a GIF for the opening or what, but it looked very, like, visually it looked very good. I'm like, oh, this kind of looks sick. I wonder if it's any good or if it's ass. And it was called the Idaten Deities Know Only Peace. And I got played because I thought it was finished. It is finished releasing in Japan. There's 9 volumes. I'm like, surely they're at like 7 out of 9 in English. I'm like, surely people have picked up the slack and just done the last 2. From what I could find, that's not the case. So I'm waiting on those last 2. But the basic plot is that 800 years ago, demons attacked the Earth and were like threatening mankind and blah blah blah, and humans all began praying to their respective gods and stuff, and basically from no specific religion, like this collective prayer and conscious will to like be saved created these deities who then like destroyed the demons, and also in the process like a bunch of them sacrificed themselves and shit. But now it's 800 years later, and there's like one strong deity left, and the other ones are like okay, but they've known nothing but peace. It actually does a thing that I was not expecting. I thought it was going to be more like slice of lifey, or like they have to train really hard because the demons show up. But it's actually more of a thing that I found interesting, and it's like I guess it's like loose spoilers technically, but like it's kind of the plot of the thing to me. Is the demons show up and they're like fucking weak as hell. It's like Endgame Goku is the protagonist of like original Dragon Ball, but everyone else is the same power level. Like they're just so far below. They're like, oh fuck. And it's a really good. They're not like that far below, I guess, but it's enough where like they can't just raw strength it. So there's like other shit that's happening, and they're focusing on different elements, which I like. I fucking love that dynamic, and it's not out there every day, at least in front of me. So that was very fun. They do get into some. There is one part where I was yapping about it in a Discord, and I'm like, oh, it's just fucking Dragon Ball again. And someone's like, go on. It's all just about weight. It's always fucking weight. They're just weight training. It's like it's still fucking good. It still got me, which is what I was talking about to this person. I'm like, you can see it as soon as they have like one panel of a thing. You're like, yep, this one. It's like a train in the distance, and I'm on the tracks. Can't miss it. But it still fucking hits. It's still just good.
Hell yeah.
So that's been a very fun time. Caught up on it. I still need to check out the anime. Which does look like again visually just the styles seem pretty cool. So I'm hopeful, but who knows? Who knows what they've ruined while adapting it? Yeah, though, I mean, those are like my two anime or manga things. I guess partially anime, since that's how I discovered them, which is my go-to these days, right? Like I see like the anime of the season that people are yapping about, and then I check out the manga immediately, and I'm like, wow, this is great. And the anime is hot ass.
Hell yeah.
Except for Dungeon Menshi, except for Delicious in Dungeon.
True.
I still, dude, it's so, when there's occasionally people have been like, oh, I'm thinking of checking out Delicious in Dungeon. Like, should I do the manga or the anime? And I've been like, it does, pick your choice. Like, either. you cannot go wrong.
The only way you can go wrong is the anime isn't done yet.
Yeah. But they're confirmed for the second season. So you might have to. Right?
It's supposed to come out later this year.
Okay. I mean, yeah, I guess I guess there's still technically a chance for them to biff it. Technically.
Yeah, I don't expect them to biff it, considering they're like 1-for-1ing it plus like flair.
Yeah.
Up until
you
now.
Never know.
It's true. You can always fumble at the finish line. And that manga has such a fucking good ending.
Oh, dude, it's so... That's what I was talking... I always mention it, too, in the context of, like, Furin, where I'm like, this one did the expanding scope, but it kind of flubs it, and it loses the stuff that made it fun to begin with. Delicious in Dungeon manages that fucking perfectly, and it's crazy.
It completely threads the needle.
It's wild, dude. It's actually insane. Like it's the best. It is my golden standard for like fun gimmick into overarching plot, back into fun gimmick. It's crazy. It's so fucking good.
It's so good.
Also,
it's so good.
I think semi often, not in like a related to anything way, but just in like a chuckle to myself way about how you said you can't tell your mom about it. It's all about eating shit.
Yeah.
It's so funny. See, for me it makes sense. I'm a garbage disposal. I'm like, yeah, I also want to eat this thing that the guy wants to eat. So it's a little bit sentient, whatever. Like we'll just close our eyes and pretend.
Gotta eat that living armor,
dude. Hell yeah.
They're mollusks.
Oh, that was such a good fucking bit, dude. When they managed to do it, when there was a way to make that happen, I was so happy. I was so thinking that they were gonna do like the it's impossible though, womp womp, but the fact that he did it.
I figure out how to eat the ghosts.
Oh man,
that show's fucking perfect. It's so
See, if I were to go back, I'd probably do the anime, just because I didn't like watch it. So that would be like a fresh thing.
That's a good way to do it. To do one and then when you want to revisit, do the other.
Yeah. That's actually a good segue. I revisited something.
Oh, hell yeah.
A little thing called 17,776.
Fuck yeah.
By what's his name again?
John Boyce.
Yeah, him. Which we talked about. We did a whole ass episode on it. We read that. Did we do it? Did we do 2 episodes for the sequel?
No, we never did an episode. We never did an episode on the sequel.
That's I mean, we kind of don't need to.
Yeah.
I think like it's kind of it's in the same vein. A very quick description for those who don't know, and maybe this will entice you. Humanity is it follows a satellite. It follows football and satellites. Terrible description.
The thing that really made it at launch was it was just on like SB Nation, like a sports page.
Yes.
It's just a page what football will look like in the future, and then you clicked it and then your page melted and then it brought you to like this multimedia fiction story about like satellites in the future where people don't die, so they're bored and they come up with these crazy forms of football that are like bringing a football across the fucking entire United States or whatever.
Yeah. Like every insane variant of football that a person could imagine.
Yeah.
If you were immortal and had infinite time on your hands.
Yeah.
And it's like from the perspective of a satellite that has just become intelligent and woken up.
Yeah, and it's obsessed with watching this stuff.
Well, that's what the other satellites do for fun. So like woven in between this is like world building, which for me was the fucking in. Because I don't follow football like that necessarily. And if anything, this got me more interested in football. When they go into the there's a bit where they have like that one game that's been going, and it's like in the middle of the NFL game they realized that the rules were so fucking convoluted and wrapping over themselves that they could claim legal ownership over part of the field. And like literally, I had been watching a football game, and I forget what it was. There was something about it was something. There had been, if it gets to a certain point in the game, they like there's like enough time left to make plays, but they can like keep doing a thing to like just waste all of the time. And that really pissed me off. And I was like, this is any sport that allows this is like fucking stupid. And then I was rereading 17,776, and I got to that part about the rules being so convoluted that it like wraps up itself, and I'm like, oh, it's actually funny, not infuriating. Like it made me just look at it a different way. That was nice.
Hell yeah.
And I dove it back into the sequel, which I think on my first run I wasn't as much of a fan of. But this time I was like, it really fucking hit. Like, just the way that he expands out to, like, a college football game, and the one satellite is, like, explain. He's like, don't be mad. Don't be mad. I know you hate stupid games. Don't be mad. It's not as bad as it seems. And everyone's like, this is the fucking worst idea of all time. And the thing is that the legal fields are just taking every college, like every university football field in America and extending it. Like, what if the field was just kept going forever across the entire country? And that's the legal field. So, like, the only way you can get across to stuff is, like, running along those intersecting lines. And I think each team started with a ball, I believe. So the goal is to get like all of the balls or whatever, which is like a fucking impossible task.
It's
and so
fucking
there's like
good.
there's whole things like analysis of like, oh, this one team they only have one fucking connection. There's like this like play that's been going on, and like that's woven into stuff, and it's just really fucking good.
It's so fucking good.
And it's been a hot minute since we went through that, so it was nice going back, and I'm like, yep, just as good.
Yeah.
But the thing that hit me this time is I don't know if I actually mentioned it when we originally went through it, but part of the thing that really hit while I was going through this time is the idea of like humans want to play. We really just want to fuck around, basically. And that was a huge thing that Arthur C. Clarke believed in, and comes up in quite a few of his, if not his novels, then his stories, his short stories of like, the end goal is not to fucking optimize work and to keep working. The end goal is to never work again in our fucking lives unless we desire to do that for fun. Like, that's the dream. None of this job for everybody bullshit. And that, like, that fucking resonated with me even in high school. I was like, yeah.
Sure.
So just this idea that, like, what do you humans do? What's like the thing to do when you can do anything? And it's like, you fucking play, man. You play, in this case, you play football. Yeah, dude. And I mean, kind of wrapped up in that a little bit. Maybe not in play, but also I just really, really appreciate the idea. Part of the idea in this world is that, like, humans basically invented like everything they fucking could to make life easier, and it turns out we hate it because we like to bitch a little bit. So we went back to having like cars that break down once in a while, and like having to wait in line for your chicken nuggets or whatever, like the little inefficiencies that like just annoy the piss out of you, but without them, you like, what is anything?
Hell yeah. This is why WoW Classic exists.
Oh man. Yeah. It's sometimes you just like having a little,
Yeah.
Someone once, I shouldn't just say someone, it's actually come up a couple of times, which is kind of funny because it doesn't seem like a thing that would. I like playing really old versions of Minecraft that have not a lot of, you can't sprint. And it's as a digression, the enemies in that game were made for you not being able to sprint. If you can run away, they are meaningless.
Yeah.
But like, there's so many quality of life things that are just not fucking there. And a couple of people have been like, why would you not just like have some more of the quality of life, but like keep the things you like about the old version by modding the new version? And I'm like, like what? I want a little bit of the trash. I need a little bit of that garbage.
Well, I assume part of it's nostalgia for that era of the thing also.
It is nostalgia a bit.
At some level.
But
I mean,
totally.
I get it in terms of,
but there's
just
also like
wanting this thing.
Yeah. But, sometimes I'll take that. Like, I mean, another good example is I ask people occasionally, do you enjoy a really shitty cup of coffee sometimes? And a lot of people say no, because they're like, why would I ever want a shitty cup of coffee? And it's like, sometimes the really garbage, like bad diner grade coffee, it just hits. Like, you take a big old sip and you're like, this isn't fucking good. But
yeah, I agree. I know what you're talking about. I understand.
Yeah.
Although sometimes then you go play WoW Classic and you're like, this definitely has like a thing to it, but also it is just too much of a pain in the ass for me to spend more time with.
Oh yeah, no, there's a limit. There's a limit to like. I mean, look, even in the story, like humanity isn't able to die, right? Like, we stopped ourselves from being able to be injured. We didn't want to deal with that. We just don't want to get like a perfect pizza every time. But no, that shit, that thing holds up. I recommend it to people semi-frequently. because
Yeah.
a lot of people haven't heard of it. You know, it's not like a huge thing. I feel like.
Yeah, and like, you know, how would you hear of it other than someone telling you about it these days?
Oh yeah. One person was immediately alarmed. They thought their internet, like, they didn't they scrolled down far enough for the page to break, but not far enough to like see what was happening.
Hell
so they're like, bro, what the fuck?
Why'd you send me a virus?
Like, is this page safe? And I'm like, you're fine. Yeah, it just all disappears. Oh, it was so funny. I was dying.
Like, I had to be a fan of like Breaking Madden or whatever back in the day to find out about it at the time.
Yeah, like, it's not, you know, not like it was getting ads or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. People should check out Secret Base.
Yeah. And that's again 17,776 by what do you say his name was? John Boyce?
John Boyce.
Yeah.
Spelled B-O-I-S.
Yeah. Very good stuff.
Check out his video about the history of people slipping on banana peels.
Yeah, that's the thing. He's done some other like really interesting content. And I keep like meaning to watch it, and I like start and I just like I never get all the way into it generally.
Sure.
But the intention is there.
His 2-part video about the history of sports, of athletes with the name Bob.
Hell yeah.
They're almost extinct.
They're almost extinct.
Uh-huh. That's a chart that goes up and then goes down. That is the Bob emergency. We're almost out of Bobs.
Nah, that shit will swing back around.
Maybe.
No, it does. It will. I believe. I believe in the Bob comeback. Don't call it a comeback. Yeah. That's it's good stuff. There was one thing that we both read. Some of us more than others.
Some of us more than others. I also watched some.
That's true, and I didn't watch any. I ended up not checking it out, really.
Yeah.
That'd be Gunsmith Cats, which is 8 volumes. How far in did you get?
I think I read one. And then I was like,
Holy
I can't
shit.
fucking do it.
Wow.
I can't do it.
I mean, that makes sense. So Gunsmith Cats is...
I wanted to like it, and I just didn't.
Gunsmith Cats lies at the intersection of horny, guns, and cars. And if I recall right...
The funny thing, reading about it, the funny thing is the artist, he did not care about the cars. He cared about the guns.
Which is very
The cars,
funny.
he's just like drawing from a fucking magazine. He's like, I guess I have to draw a car.
There's like so many points where he elaborates on the cars like way too much depth that no human does. And it's very...
Because he's like just doing... He's like has to learn about how a car works. And so he's doing the research and he's just putting it all in the comic.
Yeah.
Whereas the gun stuff is like already... He's like... That's because he's a nerd about that stuff and already knows.
Yeah. I thought it was very fun for the most part. There's some gross shit in it. But like overall, like the main character, Raleigh Vincent, is just like good enough that I was like, this slaps. I like this. Having a good time. The guy that appears in it, who had his own manga anime. He had an OVA before Gunsmith Cats, and that's a Bean Bandit.
Mm-hmm.
And he was chill. It's kind of a rival character. Yeah, it does. Like, you wouldn't have gotten into it, but like this did get it. There's two main things in the series that to me were like hella gross, and one of them is the relationship between Minnie and what's his fucking name, and I'm like, I don't like this. It's just not great, but it's whatever. And then there is I don't even know how deep that was. It was deep enough for me to not like fucking call it, I guess. But dude decided that the play was in one of the, I don't know what you'd call it, like a chapter or volume separator. It was in like a volume. I don't know what to call it. It's like an image, like a splash image or whatever. And it was of like 5 or 6 year old Rally naked with a gun. And I'm like, this dude needs fucking like brick to the head or something. You've gone from like you're at the line to over the line. Man. So, but like, and it's just for that. The frustrating thing is that it's just that fucking image. And for what? Like, you just did that. You just did this like fucking randomly. Which I don't want more of it, but like, just don't do it. If you're like, it's so fucking, it's free real estate to not put this in front of my eyeballs, man. Son of a bitch.
Glad I didn't get there.
Yeah. It's just so frustrating because like it's for no reason, like literally no reason at all. Yeah. I guess I'll mention while I'm in shit talk mode. We did not. Well, you of course wouldn't have looked at Gunsmith Cats Burst, and for anyone who checks out Gunsmith Cats and is like, this is sick, I don't recommend Gunsmith Cats Burst. I did not read it because I looked into it to see what it was and if it was worth it. The information I found and the impression I got was that what's his name? Who did this? Kenichi Sanada.
I didn't remember.
At a certain point, realized he liked one of the villains more than he really liked any of the protagonists, and Gunsmith Cats Burst puts a cap on the series. They kind of do. There's it's 5 volumes to the original 8. And I think a good chunk of that is just like Adventure of the Week kind of thing. Like, it's just doing the same thing that the main series did. But the ending is everybody is fucking miserable except the villain, who wins, and in a bad way. Like, it's actually just like, I think someone's dead, someone else gets like I don't know if Rally Vincent gets like turned into like a mind controlled slave or whatever the hell, or like gives up like makes the agreement to like give all of her life up to like have Minnie be a mind controlled slave. It's some bullshit. It's like the absolute worst case fucking scenario, and I'm like, that's awful. Like, it's actually the worst. I don't know what dude was. He could have just like not done that and like put wow, you could just make this character have their own thing that's separate from these other characters that people like. Whatever.
Yeah. That kind of gets into like when I was just looking into it, in terms of production stuff. Like, apparently he was just trying to, when he was trying to sell a series, like, he wasn't getting traction with anything. And then the editors just liked some drawing of 2 girls he had done. So that became the thing that his series was about. But that like wasn't ever what he cared about. Was Incredible. The girls. That was sense. Just like, the editors were like, do that. He just, wanted to do more writing Bean or whatever.
That explains a lot. I mean, it's like fucking immediately that Minnie throws a grenade or whatever. I forget who does it. I think Minnie does it to Rally shoots somebody or like fires off her gun a couple of times. Then Minnie gives her shit because like her nipples are hard because she's like turned on.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, fucking, like that's such an early like.
Yeah, like the whole one of the climaxes of the story is fucking like the guy like falls unconscious and like grabs her pants. So then the next scene she's not wearing pants. And I was like reading it, I'm like, wait, what the fuck? Why does it look like she doesn't have pants on? And I had to like go back and piece it together because she had to take her pants off because this guy hooked onto her pants.
Yeah. It's chill.
And there was just like the thing that drove me insane reading it was like for something that's so meticulous about like drawing these guns, like his detail on stuff and like formula, like the staging of the action, I like had trouble following stuff. Like it didn't flow naturally, and just like the way. Like, he would position people in a room, and then the things that would happen in the panels next didn't make sense based on where the people were standing in the room. And I was only, like, my brain was only clued into, like, pay attention that much because of how much detail he was putting into the first drawing. Like, he drew all the stuff and then didn't care enough about it to have it flow together. And I found that really annoying. On top of the like, you know, his
sexual nonsense.
His sexual stuff was like so
juvenile, like ridiculous.
Yeah, sexist, like not in a way that like likes girls or whatever. Just like is just like horny to be horny or whatever. I don't know.
It's not Rumiko Takahashi. Like,
yeah,
reasonable.
I didn't find it fun.
Yeah. See, when I was reading it, I'm like, I don't know that I don't know that this is a Hank manga.
No.
Yeah, it's
and like there's like the scene where I forget who's who. Which one of the girls is who?
Rally is the dark-haired one.
Yeah. So it was like there's like a scene where May gives a guy a blowjob.
Yeah.
And I'm like, reading that, I'm like, oh, well, if it were like actually just more explicit, I think I would like it more. It's the like teasing stuff that's like of how you're staging the thing, the like stakes of the thing that are happening. Like, oops, I lost my pants stuff that I find really annoying and stupid. The, like, extremely contrived stuff. We're just sex. Like, that's fine. I don't have a problem with that.
Yeah.
Man.
I think there's maybe less of that later, but it picks up in other ways that are shit.
I felt the layer of skis from the creator, and that his interest, and in reading about it, you know, like what he was interested in wasn't the part of the thing that I thought was good, so I didn't trust it.
Yeah.
Like for me to. Like, I need a level of trust with the author to like that stuff, I guess.
Sure. I mean, it's definitely like
Rumiko Takahashi stuff, and not
this is,
you know,
this is another. I mean, it's probably not actually that complex. I was gonna say this is like a thing. It's like when I was watching Urusei Yatsura, and like kind of dealing with over exaggerated facial expressions and like reactions and stuff, and I'm like, why do I like this but I don't like it in like more modern anime sometimes?
Mm-hmm.
Or like reading My Son of Koku, and you're either gonna admit that misunderstandings are funny, or you're gonna have a really bad time. And so then I had to fucking confront that, and so like reading this, I'm like, okay, this is like I see the things that you see, especially with like the sex stuff, and I'm like, this is, some of it's just gross and it's like a bad plot decision, but also like generally, it's horny in a way that I normally don't like. Not necessarily like there's some age different stuff and like some other like shit that's just objectively gross. I mean like the regular shit, like her losing her pants. I don't like that sort of thing generally, in a manga or an anime. So I'm like, why am I okay with this? And I Herbie's just like, yeah, because it fits my tastes, I guess. Like this, which is like a bad fucking reason to be like liking a thing in that way. Like I don't want
it's
to
fine.
It's fine, but it's not like the same. It's a different like.
Yeah.
There's a difference between a thing that you read and a thing you read one hand. Not that I was fucking beaten off to Gunsmith Cats, but like, it's like just such a different beast. You know?
No, I get it. Yeah.
It's like sometimes you read the Muscle Girl manga. Like you're not reading it because it's good.
Yeah.
Some of the stuff I did. It wasn't just that, and honestly, there's not enough of that shit in Gunsmith Cats for it to just be that. There are some character interactions and stuff later on that I really fucking like. I think Rally is really cool, but like, yeah, that there were other layers for me, I would say.
Yeah, and I just didn't trust.
Yeah. Oh, it's skeezy as shit.
Yeah, it was too skeezy for me to like, and there was just too much of it.
There's nothing but male gaze.
Yeah,
that's the only gaze in this manga.
And it's just like I could just be watching Dirty Pair. That's fun.
Which we also have intentions to do.
Yeah.
Read. Is that a manga?
Which I've been. They're probably comics, but it was like a novel series.
Gotcha.
I think originally.
So probably more just watch for our purposes.
Yeah. I've been like nibbling on that one for years now, because it is a thing of like, I'll watch an episode like that was great. I don't need to do another one right now.
Yeah.
But it's just, it's girls shooting things and blowing stuff up, and it's just fun. It's possible.
I'm glad we mentioned watching. You watched the Gunsmith Cats OVA, right? Or OVAs? Is there multiple?
There's like 3. So it's like a 3-episode anime, basically. I think I only watched the first one.
And did you like it? I remember.
No, but it was like bad in like a different way.
Okay, I thought you said you liked it. All right, it's totally misremembered.
No, it just didn't go hard enough on the violence or what. Like,
gotcha. Yeah.
Like, I love the opening, the energy to like the opening theme thing. I think is really good, and that's kind of what made me want to do that series at all. Was seeing that on YouTube. But like, it just wasn't. It didn't. Yeah, it was like too cartoony with its violence.
Gotcha.
But it still had enough of like, Rally's losing her shirt in this climax or whatever. Almost like, this is just lame. Just didn't have the sauce. I don't know. It like wasn't. It's like an original story. It's not.
Yeah,
adapting any of the manga stories.
Yeah, which is probably for the best. I'll check it out at some point.
It was weird.
Oh, I can't.
It was a while ago, so I can't quite remember my specific nitpicks with it, other than it didn't have the juice. Like, it just wasn't that good. It wasn't as good as I wanted it to be.
Well,
because I do think like May and Rally are great characters. Like, I'm excited, but also they don't have a lot to them. Like, they're just perky and fun. And I can't get around that the author is just interested in drawing guns.
Yeah.
And exploiting them.
Yeah, I mean, I'll tell you what was fun about the OVAs after on the next salt pile after I watched them with my industrial sized bottle of lotion. Oh man. Yeah, I
don't know. I feel like you're a fan of Gunsmith Cats. It's not detailed enough. It's not the anime isn't horny enough.
That's the thing. I wouldn't say I'm a fan, right? Like, I was thinking about it in the. I mean, you know, I love the fan art. No, I was thinking about it like in the moment. But like until you mentioned it for the salt pile, I'm like, I hadn't thought about it. Like, it didn't enter my brain.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think if I was going to think of something that is close to this, or like guns plus strong female character plus like action, I'm thinking Bubblegum Crisis probably is like the first one off the top of my head.
Yeah,
like that's just what I would go to, and I think about Bubblegum Crisis all the fucking time.
Yeah. Well, it's like I'm like trying to build a list of stuff. Like, it's like Bubblegum Crisis, it's Dirty Pair, so Gunsmith Cats seem to fit in the middle, and Slayers is the other one I want to get to, even though that's not guns, that's like medieval fantasy.
Oh, you already sold me.
But with like where it's like two main female characters having fun adventures, and their skimpy outfits is like a part of it or whatever, but it's more fun female characters is like the draw to me.
Would you?
But it's definitely like being horny about it is not like unique to Gunsmith Cats in terms of like way people react to it, I guess. But
would you for things
Dirty Pair is just like extremely appealing to me in a way this isn't. Would you like to?
I mean, I can think of something else with a duo that I've done that you could maybe check out. Instead of two girls having fun adventures in skimpy outfits, how about two boys being miserable in a boarding school where everything sucks?
No, that's
it inspired Berserk.
If I wanted to think about people being miserable inspired Berserk, I'd watch Aim for the Ace.
I still need to fucking do that one up too, just for the fucking pull. Yeah, I've watched the shit that inspired Berserk. I mean, we're kind of close.
Aim for the Ace again. I watched Aim for the Ace. I watched one of the movies, and I was so annoyed about like her trainer oh, that guy was such a fucking piece of shit. It was so annoying.
Yeah. Look, the boarding school boys manga at least had like merit to it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that one's
just.
Like
also, Aim for the Ace was so clear. It was like same character dynamics as Dear Brother, which I wanted to do, but that one has the problem of being gay right up until the end, where it's like, oops, sorry, no homo, miserable, just bad ending.
Ugh. You know what I think about a lot for like no homo shit? The good citizens of Reddit who were like talking about our flag means death and how they didn't see it as a gay relationship. And I'm like, motherfucker, he put the silk thing in his pocket and said you wear fine things well on the moon in the moonlight. What are you fucking talking about? Like, the amount of people who were like, I didn't read it as gay. I'm like, okay, like, I guess. I don't know what your relationship with your friends is like.
The thing about, yeah.
That was so funny.
Yeah. Many examples.
Oh, yeah.
Although watching Rebels, apparently there are people who would argue that fucking Hera and Kanan aren't in a relationship.
What?
And I'm like,
brother,
what?
Okay.
And I don't understand.
That's insane.
They're as married as two characters.
Are those people? Have those people finished the series?
Well, I think there's some later episode where, like, it's like an admitting love episode or whatever, apparently. So I can't fully, I don't know what happens in that one. But watching it from the beginning, they're just fucking married.
Yeah, no, they're definitely like they're the parents of these fucking children who keep getting into shit.
They're finding time to fucking have sex whenever they can, but they have to get away from the kids. Like the way they look at each other and talk to each other and to hold each other. Like,
that's an insane take. That's crazy. That's like episode 1 shit. Like there's zero delay on that.
No, they're just.
That's
they don't have
established dynamic.
They don't have a courtship. Yeah, they're just, you meet them, they're already married.
Yeah, that's crazy. Look at this guy burning fucking Rebels content.
That one's just been fucking killing me. When I learned that there are people that think that.
That was like whatever episode where we got talking about Star Wars stuff, and you mentioned, we briefly mentioned the Asajj Ventress novel, and I had to fucking hold back because you didn't yet know that they fucking refrigerated her ass. And I finished that fucking book and I was so goddamn mad. Like, I loved that book all the way through, and then just like, nope, we're gonna make it awful. And then messaging like immediately after we finished that episode.
Yeah.
All caps.
Like, wait, they were fucking refrigerated?
They put her in a fucking refrigerator?
To fucking for Quinlan Voss to like
for fucking Voss. It's so bad, man.
Quinlan Voss to like be uneviled.
The fact that
she dies to save the Jedi. That's her fucking.
The fact that they retconned it is so funny, and the fact that like any wiki or Wookiee entry about it is vague as shit initially is even funnier, because they're like, her apparent death. And I'm like, that doesn't tell me anything, man. Like, she was pretty dead. It's like Boba Fett in the Sarlacc pit. Like, that's fine. You can just say he didn't die, but you're gonna need to explain a little.
Yeah, and apparently Katie Lucas said she was like coming off of a bad breakup when she wrote that book. And it's like, never has a woman written as strong a I can fix him book.
That's fucking
like,
crazy.
Just like, yeesh. Come on. Have some more self-respect. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that's insane.
You need some more self-worth. Ouch.
Yeah.
No, I can fix him. I can fix him, though.
I can fix Quillian Voss. She's not worth it. Let his ass go. Or murder him. Yeah,
Quinlan Voss is one of the Jedi that's still alive after Order 66.
Yep. Sure is. Too many of those fuckers.
Well, there were thousands.
What the fuck ever.
And then there were like under 100.
Oh, in canon it's 50-ish.
Oh.
Legends it was under 100. Or around 100.
That was a pure guess. I didn't know there were. I hadn't looked at the hard numbers.
They always say around because there can always be more. Need a new character? Need a cool new character? They survived. They were a Padawan. They were on another planet or whatever. They were out in the wilderness. The only one I've truly liked is in the Darth Vader Dark Lord of the Sith comic, where it's the dude who dedicated himself to battle meditation, feels all the Jedi die, and is like, I have to go fucking kill somebody. like that was cool as shit, except then he let his conscience get in his way. Could have beaten Vader, right? That's a what if. What if that dude had like ignored the other shit and just murdered Vader?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'd fucking kill for that one. I would love to see. My headcanon is that he also kills Sidious. Just because like that's the more fun version, right?
Sure.
Dude, that'd be crazy. That'd be such a good one. Oh. I'm going to write a fanfic.
Then you wouldn't have a story.
You'd have stories. It'd just be about rebuilding the Jedi and like what direction that would take.
Don't rebuild the Jedi. That's a bad idea.
I'm pretty sure Obi-Wan and
That's what I hate about all the post Return of the Jedi stories. That they become about rebuilding the Jedi. That's the only thing you can do at that point.
I think it depends, because you can also, if you have Obi-Wan doing it, I think he's going to have maybe a hopefully better approach, because I'm pretty sure that dude did recognize some of the fucking problems, especially in hindsight.
Only in hindsight.
Yeah, but if he has the chance.
I don't know, he was pretty bad about it.
Sure, but in hindsight, he got old and he learned stuff, right?
He spent his whole life dedicated to turning Luke into a fucking bullet to shoot at Vader. His whole afterlife also. You gotta turn Luke into a gun so he can shoot Vader.
I guess that Vader stuff is happening. It's not even when he's old, because that would have been like fucking way later, huh? Or yeah, because the that bit in the Vader comic is like immediately after.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess I don't know. It'd be interesting at the very least.
It would be different.
It'd be different. Also, in my fanfic, I'll get to write the muscular battle meditation Jedi as being glistening with sweat and rippling with muscle.
Oh, like Kiadi Mundi. You gotta watch the Tarkovsky Clone Wars.
It's still on my fucking list, man.
And fighting fucking Grievous.
Ugh.
Shirtless.
Unreal. Man, another almost 2 hours of yapping. Imagine.
This guy who doesn't fucking put any respect on Jarek's name.
Look, I was clicking through those Inquisitors in Legends, and you would not believe how many of them were just looked like a dude named Dave who had a receding hairline and was just like some fucking jackass, like middle management type shit. And I'm like, this is So, so fucking bad. Two of them looked almost identical, except one of them had a lightsaber, but like still looked like a middle management kind of guy.
Hell yeah. That's what we're about. Just evil ridiculous. Middle managers. Endless waves of evil middle managers
with laser swords.
Sure, whatever. Our heroes can have laser swords. They need someone to use laser swords so they can use laser swords against them.
Not true. Not true at all. Been done. You know?
It has, sure, it's been done. That's correct.
Look, here's the real lukewarm room temperature take. All Star Wars media, like, it's all of this shit has been done that needed to be done except one thing. We need a focused journey of someone building their goddamn lightsaber on the big screen. That's the movie we need. Or the well-animated thing we need. That's what the people want. If you talk to anyone, they're like, I want to see the process.
No, that's only you.
Everybody I talk to about this has said that it's their number one Star Wars wish.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, from a reliable source, I think they also would be very interested in getting like Darth Vader bleeding the Kyber crystal. I think they would like that element of, the Sith side of building your lightsaber.
Well, we've had a bleeding of a Kyber crystal on screen.
Who did that?
In live action. It's in fucking Acolyte.
I don't care. A good representation of bleeding the Kyber crystal. I've not seen Acolyte, for anyone who doesn't know. How does that go down? Is it similar to the Vader one? There's like they have to like battle their internal goodness.
She's like, yeah, she does it out of fury and then like cuts her master's head off.
Wait, so she just bleeds the thing and then like it's done? Like there's no like internal struggle?
No, it's like external because she's in a conversation with finding.
Oh man! No, that's not the.
Or you can't make the internal thing on the screen. You have to externalize it if you're putting it on.
Oh, I'm sorry. Wait, externalize it how? What kind of was it? It's a thing that really like it's external and that like it's taking place in reality, or like. What do you mean?
Yeah, I don't know what you mean.
Like the evil equivalent of Luke walking into the cave on Dagobah. Whatever. To like confront his inner darkness or whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
That sort of deal, because that's what Vader does in Dark Lord of the Sith.
Yeah.
That's like
but it's not it's not as like theoretical because it is like the confrontation actually happening.
So how does the bleeding process work? Like what it like physically, like what did it look like? Like is that happening as she's in that conflict?
Like as she's holding her lightsaber, yeah.
Oh, okay. See, I like that. That's cool. Don't get me wrong. Put a pin in that shit. But that, like, I don't like that idea for bleeding the Kyber crystal. I like that as being like a focused mental thing that's happening, where you then have to confront your inner
She's
light.
like having an emotional conversation where a thing is being revealed to her as she's holding her lightsaber, and she's fucking losing her mind.
No,
it turns red.
I like that conceptually. I mean, that's like if Rise of Skywalker had any balls and they let Rey turn to the dark, like her shooting Force lightning was fucking rad, but then they don't have balls, so she's just like good.
She blew up Chewie for like 2 seconds.
I love that sort of shit. Like that's rad as hell. But the concept of doing like the confronting your inner darkness, except actually you're trying to smush down the good in yourself, is very cool. It's just a good, I don't know. People bitched about kyber crystal bleeding, and I'm like, this is kind of rad, because like before it was just they're synthetic, which is just fucking boring. It's nothing. And then you get the kyber purification, which is also kind of cool.
Although, the synthetic thing makes sense though thematically with Star Wars, where like with Vader and stuff being like being part robot makes you more evil.
Yeah,
like it's not my favorite part of Star Wars. It's not a Star Wars I care about, but it is thematic with stuff in it.
The part where it got like silly, because I
that's not Luke is turning the dark side because he lost a hand. That's part of it.
Yeah. But Legend
become an amputee, become evil.
My encountering that was in Legends content. So by then it had like become, they like were getting into the fucking nerd shit of it, where like synthetic crystals. This was Legends canon, by the way. Synthetic crystals, you're going to be able to swing. You can't swing as quickly. They're not about a quick, elegant swing. It's about power. So you're gonna have a slower swing with the synthetic crystal, and you're gonna have more power behind it. So like there was a Jedi in some book
they like
or another
trying
that I read.
to explain the difference between the sword fighting in the original trilogy and the prequels?
I don't think it was trying to do that.
When did that come out?
That was like probably
because if it was
later,
yeah. If it was later, if it was like post prequels existing, I feel like that's what they were doing.
I can't remember if it was post prequels or not. I think it was. I don't know. No, it was post prequels. Yeah, it would have been. It had to have been, because I wasn't fucking 5 when I was reading. So yeah. I don't know if it was trying to do that or if it was like a byproduct of that, because like it didn't touch on that sort of thing, but I could see how you would reference that in that description. My takeaway from it also was that there was like a couple of Jedi that had like red and orange and yellow lightsabers, because they wanted the slower, more powerful swing instead of the quick swing, and that was like fine. Except it was portrayed as like an option that you could have, and it was okay. But also they wrote those characters as being dicks. So I'm like, okay, I guess. Someone fires up their lightsaber and is like yellow, and you're like, oh, okay. I didn't know you were like that. Don't fucking talk to me.
It's funny.
That's so like I always thought that shit was boring. Have to earn your dark sideness. Earn the evil.
Sure. By getting your hand cut off.
Or both legs and a hand. And getting your hair burned off. Oh, hair burned off is a big one, because that's just Lex Luthor. Well, not burned off, but you know.
It's true. That hair is just holding you back. Realizing your true potential.
Like, did you see the fucking glorious mane that Anakin had in episode 3? Gets burned off. Now we're, ready to rock.
It's true. Then you can get helmet hair.
There's another what if. Anakin loses his legs on Mustafar, but not his hair, and he ends up going back to being good. He like sees the error of his way. That'd be so fucking dumb. That'd be such a good one, because it's so stupid. It's like there's so many things. You can find so many like little comics and art of like the what if Anakin had stayed on the good side, or if he'd like killed Sidious. So many. There's like a whole little mini comic thing about like him and Padme like raising their kids or whatever, and it's adorable.
Yeah.
Doing that, giving the fans that what if, but it's because he didn't lose his hair, would be fucking unreal. Oh, that'd be crazy.
He got to say hot, so now he can be good.
Yeah, man.
It is hilarious how fucking evil Darth Vader is, but he still gets to become like a good Force ghost at the end of Jedi. Return of the Jedi.
Yeah. I mean, because that's all that was required, you know?
He killed all the younglings, dude. He's just a child murderer.
Not at that point, he wasn't.
Although not all the younglings.
Yeah, he didn't kill all.
Some of them became inquisitors. Some of them became inquisitors.
True. What? Like, fucking whatever. As if they didn't write the child murder after him becoming a Force ghost.
It's true. They did do that.
That poor dude who played the original good Anakin Force ghost, who just got fucking green screened over with Hayden Christensen. Poor bastard. I thought I was taking crazy pills when I was I was young enough when I saw it must have been like DVD or something. Well, yeah, how old was I? When did episode 3 come out? 2007? Star Wars episode 3. 2005. I was even younger.
Yeah, that makes more sense.
Yeah. I had seen the original trilogy. I mean, it was the special editions, but it was like the VHS ones or whatever. And you know, I knew that this guy is what good Darth Vader looked like at the end of Return of the Jedi. And then I watched it. I got like the DVD collections of each trilogy, and I watched through them all. And they had Hayden Christensen there, and I'm like, what? Was it always? It couldn't possibly always be like this. How old is he? Like, I was like fucking losing my mind about like they just did that. They just fucking did that.
Yeah.
And then I like remember
George did it again. He loves to tinker with those movies.
He physically cannot stop himself.
Well, he couldn't, so he had to sell it all to Disney. Stop. It's the only way he could be stopped.
He was gonna start tinkering with the prequels. He was gonna get live action Jar Jar.
I mean, he did tinker with the prequels. They replaced Puppet Yoda with CGI Yoda in Phantom Menace.
Yeah, it's true. But he was gonna give us the extended special edition where we get the Jar Jar tonguing scene, but in live action CGI with John Williams backing track. Jar Jar love theme.
Oh, I'm down. Now that I've seen Jar Jar making out.
Yeah, you only want, that's the thing, right? You see it once and you're like, I kind of want more.
I'm just like, oh, he's the only person in these prequels with any swag.
Jar Jar, the rizziest Star Wars character.
There's in one of the documentaries about the making of Phantom Menace, there is a part where Frank Oz talks to George Lucas like, you know, I'm afraid you're not going to need me for this. And George is like, no, we'll always need you. Literally replaces him in the next movie and cuts out all the puppeteering from that movie.
Yeah. Insane.
But yeah, so I picked up the art of the Hildebrands Star Wars book because I was looking up Shadows of the Empire stuff, which is like the big multimedia Star Wars thing that they did before the prequels. And for that, there's like a TCG trading card Star Wars set that's like the story of Shadows of the Empire. That's all Hildebrand art. They did all the cards. So like the way they described it is like this was us getting to make our Star Wars movie.
Yeah,
like the Hildebrand Star Wars movie. It's just Shadows of the Empire cards. So I thought about buying the cards, but then I saw that there was this art book that like has all the art anyway, and it's like bigger than like looking at the cards.
That's
so I just got that. Because that also has like sketches and stuff in it, so it's really cool. And the image that's like burned into my brain now is their drawing of Vader, where he's in like the heroic hands on his hips pose. And it's like, oh my God, that is a version of Vader that I don't think is real, but I want it so much.
Dude,
of like evil, but like kind of heroic Anakin.
Yeah, like
Vader.
Still a bit of the yeah. Their shit is, it's so funny how they just win. The Hildebrand brothers. I mean, like,
yeah.
It's just like it's fucking crazy.
Their stuff's just good.
I haven't looked, honestly. I haven't seen. I think I have. I mean, I don't have a way to dig for it. I could look through my phone. I think I have three, maybe 4 images from their Star Wars stuff as like wallpapers that I have cycling through in the midst of like 200 others or whatever from different artists. But I haven't like looked super specifically at their Star Wars stuff.
Like a lot of it, like half that book or at least is like that Shadows of the Empire set. They did so much for that.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
Because everything else is like one-offs for like they did a thing for a game, for like an Ewok game or whatever.
Oh, hell yeah, the Ewok game. Of course. Call them in.
Like, looks like Wicked on a hang glider or whatever.
It'd be very funny if their Star Wars content was still like half like avian aliens that are just bird soldiers. Call in the experts. Get them in here. We need bird men.
Yeah.
There's a thing I've been thinking about getting someday. I couldn't convince Anya. I don't even know if it's still available at this place. I can't imagine. It's one of those things where like you'd have to have like the other person on Earth who is aligned with me and wants to buy it. They had a giant coffee table book at this store in St. Petersburg. It was like $200 USD. And it was called like the Masters of Fantasy. And it was huge. And it was just like pages and pages of like Frank Frazetta, Hildebrand Brothers, like all of the fucking classic people who worked on that shit. And I wanted it so bad. Fortunately, Anya was with me, and I never really got in there again when she wasn't with me.
Yeah.
Because the plan was to buy the book that's like 2 by 3 feet and just be like, what are you talking about? We've always had this in the living room. She would have bought it, I'm sure. She would have, you know.
Those giant books are so funny.
It was really big.
They're so cool, but like, what do you fucking do with this?
You take up an entire wall with it. You like put it, you like get a half bookshelf so you can fit it between the top of that and the ceiling.
Uh-huh.
Someday maybe.
Yeah. Well, I guess that's the podcast.
Nice 2 hours.
Yeah. Salt Circle Podcast.
Go on.
Yeah. No, you got something to say?
I was just gonna say, like, we had 7 things on our on the dock. I didn't think. I was like, this feels like it's gonna be like a 35-minute in and out sort of situation.
No, I knew I'd yappen to do. I mean, I spent 40 minutes on Go Nagai.
I suppose, but that was like that's important stuff though. Also,
Yeah.
I mean, it's fun. You know?
And the Star Wars was. I'm dying to talk Star Wars currently. That's
Well,
where my
finish
head's at.
fucking Rebels, and we can talk Star Wars.
Look, I have to watch like 3 episodes, then listen to a 2-hour podcast every time, or whatever.
Oh my fucking god! I hope you guys are hearing this. He's watching 3 episodes and then doing a 2-hour podcast instead of watching like 60 episodes and making the 2-hour podcast. Unbelievable, this guy.
Also, like they're episodic episodes. I actually can't full binge at the moment.
Yeah, no, I feel it. As someone who's been going through modern Urusei Yatsura, I'm like, it's kind of crazy how some shows you can watch 10 episodes of back to back. In other shows, you just can't.
Yeah. Look, sometimes it's good to watch things as they come out. Actually,
no, that's no. When is that? When would watching a thing a couple 1 to 2 episodes at a time, like once a week, ever been better for me? Certainly not with Sailor Moon. That's crazy. Certainly not with original Urusei Yatsura when you're 170 episodes deep, losing your sanity and knowing you got 26 more to go.
Yeah. Salt Circle Podcast, gmail.com. Salt Circle Pod on Twitter, saltcirclepod.bsky.social, youtube.com/@saltcircle. And I'm on Twitter, or I'm at Bluesky at comicpanels.bluesky.social.
I'm on YouTube at Drathius for watching past content. Don't expect anything new. Though I guess I could upload something, in theory. I could go record our Fightcade replays and provide commentary over it.
Hell yeah. Anyway. Look forward to more Star Wars talk in the future.
Hell yeah, dude. I'm ready.
Peace.